this is Sheree again, and today we have another CST. Today, if you would like to do this with body weight, you can. However, if you've got a light dumbbell and or a medium dumbbell, you can also use those for a couple of exercises that we have. So we're gonna run through a warm-up, and then as part of our warm-up, we'll review a few of the exercises we'll be doing as part of our intervals. And don't forget that our intervals are 45 seconds on and 15 seconds off for 8 rounds. We're gonna be doing 3 of those with a short rest in between each round. So let's go ahead and get started with a short warm-up. Ready? All right, start with a march. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. And breathe out. So from here, let's do a little bit of a jump rope. So if you are not ready for a jump rope, you can march. You can 2-foot jump, or you can skip, which is kind of what I tend to do to take a little bit of the pressure off of my knees. Just make sure to keep the feet moving and keep the hands moving. I don't know if you guys can see this in the video, but my cat is sitting here on the step still staring. All right, from here, kick the heels out. So it's gonna look like this. Again, if you're not ready for that, you're gonna just tap the feet out, keep the arms moving. So relax the shoulders, breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. All right, let's bring the heels to the glutes. All right, back to a regular skip. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stop it here. Inhale and exhale. One more time. And breathe out. From here, let's reach up to the ceiling and then come back down and reach towards the ground. So we're doing a fairly narrow squat here. Hips are going back. I'm not touching the ground yet, but if you're pretty warm, you can bring your fingers all the way down. Keep the chest facing forward and push the butt towards the back of the room. So when you look down, we should be able to see our toes. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands up. You can put them on your hips if you like. We're gonna step side, bring it back to the center, step to the other side. Out and out. So we're gonna start pretty slow on this one. Let's try to keep the hips facing forward as much as we can. And keep it nice and light as we kind of warm up. As we feel more comfortable, we can step a little further out into a full curtsy lunge. Heel off the ground, ball of the foot makes contact on the back leg. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to the center, feet come a little bit wide. Let's lunge right and left. Sit the hips back. My knees are a little creaky today, so I'm gonna keep my stance fairly low, but not super low. As you get more comfortable, sit the hips down and back. Keep the chest facing the front of the room. Brace the hands on the thighs, start coming a little deeper, and lift the chest. So if you got a ponytail and it's hanging towards the floor, let's get the head up a little bit. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it to the center. All right, let's run through some of these movements. So we're gonna start with a split stance squat. First option is going to be to take the right foot. So this is different from a lunge because all I'm doing is, you can face forward. I'm just turning for the camera. So I've got my toe just behind. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my fingers tap down and back up. So it's not quite a lunge. And if you would like to, you can always bring this heel back down. Now, if you're feeling pretty good, you also can tap your toe on top of a bench, or not tap, but hold it. 2 more. Last one, good. And let's get the left foot. Feet are hip width. Short step back, sitting down, pointing the fingers towards the ground. So as I do this, my hands are next to my shin. My hips go back and away from the front of the room. And it's a squat rather than a deadlift or a lunge. That means I've got the weight in my leg on the front. My hips are going back. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Good, shake it out. All right, from here, let's go ahead and come down to the ground. So we're going to start on all fours. So from here, let's do a little bit of a striking cobra. Bring the toes together, knees apart, sit back in a child's pose, stretch out through the upper body. Now put our elbows on the ground, slide forward and up. Sit back, elbows on the ground, come forward and up. All right, one more time. From here, let's come back to all fours. And we're going to lift our knees off the ground and push ourselves forward. Sit back into the toes, hips go back, and then we press forward again. Sitting the hips back, stretch and drive. So if we can, the hips stay the same height. So if I were under a table, for some weird reason, my hips would slide along the table. Please join me. And I'm coming chest forward of the hands. 2 more. Last one. Very good. From here, hips come high, A-frame or a down dog. Go ahead and bicycle the legs. Heel goes towards the mat, shoulders away from the ears, and the knees are soft, even when we're stretched out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, option to come into your child's pose and go back to your striking cobra, or we do a dive bomber. So we're going to bring ourselves underneath an imaginary bar, lift up the chest. Underneath the imaginary bar, let's get 2 more just like that. Exhale. Last one, very nice. All right, come back into a plank. This time our knees are on the ground. So on this one is a T rotation. So we're going to turn, face the front of the room, lift the hand to the ceiling, and then come right back. Now if you want to, you can split the feet on this one, coming back to a full plank. 1 more. And come back to center. Let's get the other side. Lift and return. 3, come to the toes if you're ready. 2, split the feet. And 1. Very nice. Come on in. All right, so from here, let's take a look at what we're going to do. Let's grab our dumbbell. It can be light, medium, or heavy. This one you should be able to do with heavy, whatever that looks like for you. Ollie's head is right in the screen. All right, so from here, let's take our foot back. We're going to hinge forward with the knee bent, so we're still keeping the chest up, and we're going to pull our thumb to the armpit and then stand up. Hinging as I squat down, pull and drop. All right? Same thing on the other side, just so we're even. Down, pull, down, stand. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is going to be your T rotation. Whichever side you're on, you can use a very light weight. Don't recommend anything heavier than a 5. I'm using a 3. Then we've got cross crawls and single arm jacks. Your single arm jack is going to be either a step out as we wrap. It can be a jump, or we can do a cross behind. Okay, your choice. Let's start on the ground though with our cross crawl. So a cross crawl is basically a controlled bicycle. So let me get our timer started. All right, so come on down to the ground, fingertips to the temples, and we're gonna alternate legs. In 3, 2, 1, and we go. Start by extending one leg. Rotate the elbow towards the bent knee, and we are going to twist at the middle of the trunk, bringing the shoulder blade off the ground. So we don't want to do this here. We also don't want to be like we're flailing around. We want to be controlled and deliberate. Kind of like starting on the floor here. Let my joints warm up a little bit. Very nice, almost there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. All right, you've got your single leg squat with a row if you want it. Just the squat if you don't have a dumbbell. So setting up, short distance, feet are apart, and go. Squat and hinge, pull the thumb to the armpit, and bring it back. Sit, pull, down, up. So we have 4 movements. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep squeezing the glutes, and make sure to come all the way to a standing position. Elbow stays pinned in tight. And if your weight's pretty heavy, you'll be going slower than I am. If your weight is lighter or you don't have a weight, you might be going a little bit faster. That's totally fine. All right, relax. Let's go back down to the ground to grab your weight if you have one. Weight's gonna go on the right hand. Setting up on your toes or on your knees, squeeze the glutes and come to your plank. And we go. So my weight comes to my chest, then it unfurls, back to the chest, and then to the ground. Chest, up, chest, down. Now there may be other ways to do this. I like this version because it makes sure that we're not putting too much stress on the shoulders, but we're working those mid-back muscles and keeping everything in alignment. And if you need to, go to all 4s, totally fine. Good, keep those knees together if you can. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, next up we got our single arm jacks. So remember, we can do any of these options. Let's go ahead and start with our left arm wrapped. Right arm is gonna be moving. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Low impact comes out here, as slow or as fast as you want that to be. Second option, don't worry about crossing the feet. Third option, crossing. Now the way I do this is, my right arm is pushing my right leg. So as my arm comes up, my legs come out. As my arm comes down, it pushes the leg behind. And again, anytime you need to, you switch options. And if even that's too much, march and get those arms going. Not you. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax, let's go back to the floor. Cross crawl. If your heart rate is up, let's try not to lay back and let the chest go below the hips. All right, take a deep breath. Go ahead and set up. Fingertips to the temple and rotation. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, full range of motion. And rather than a bicycle, we're extending the leg, more like I said, cross crawl versus a bicycle. Bring the shoulder blade across the chest. Your elbows may never cross center line, and that is okay. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. All right, come on up. Single leg squat with an optional row. This time everything's on the left side. Let's take a short step back with the left foot. Weight is in the front leg. And go. Sit down and back. Think about folding at the hips. So we close a book. But the book is this joint right here. Straight down and back. Squeeze the butt to stand. And I want us to try to avoid the urge to straighten the knees all the way to lockout. Keep breathing. Oops, as I fall backwards. And remember, you can always bring this back foot in, stick to a regular squat, or drop the heel. 10 more seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and stop. Let's come on down to the ground. This time we're gonna do our T rotation, other hand, left hand, standing up, squeeze the butt, brace the hands underneath the shoulders. All right, bring it up, chest, ceiling, chest, ground. Twist, up, down, down. Good, but stay on your knees. Now turn so that your knees are stacked up. There you go, and extend back to the chest and down. But if you can, let's leave the hips up. So here, hold that side plank, there you go, lift, extend, that's perfect. And then turn all the way back and start over. 1, 2, 3, only as fast as you can go with good form. It's okay to take a few minutes. That's why it's cardio strength. And stop. All right. Single arm jacks. This time we have our left arm moving. Remember your various options. You get 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Low impact option. Or no cross. Or with a cross. I don't know why, but my left leg really wants to cross over the front. Come on, join me with this one. There you go. Keep breathing. Squeeze the armpit and keep it engaged. That way we don't have our arm flailing around. And if we need to, we can always hop this. So we have one foot down at all times. Switching out to one of these anytime you need to. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. One more time. And breathe out. All right, we get a 2-minute break. Okay, so we have round 2. Option 1 on your curtsy lunge is going to be holding a dumbbell in a goblet position. Second exercise is going to be the blast off push-ups that we did when we were warming up. Sitting back and pressing forward. Now, you can always do these here. Just make sure that you're getting full extension so that you can still get the engagement that you need through the core and the triceps. We also want to do sumo jacks. I'll demo those. Actually, I'll go ahead and do it. So sumo jacks are going to be out into a squat, coming back. Your option will be to step out, either alternating sides or choosing one side. Last one is a cross reach. So you're going to make an X shape with your body, reach up and cross over. Not too dissimilar from our cross crawls that we were doing just a moment ago. All right, so let me get our music started. We're not going to get music started because this isn't body pump. All right, so let's go ahead and get the timer going and we will get started with our curtsy lunges. Grab your weights. All right, let's start with our left leg moving, step behind and tap back up. So we want to keep our chest up. And as much as possible, let's keep our hip facing forward. When I was watching myself do this the other day on the video, I'm not super happy with what my hips are doing. So I'm gonna try to really work on engaging my inner thigh on my right leg to keep myself from unrolling too much towards the side. I'm hoping that just being aware of it is gonna make a difference. So that means I'm a little slower than usual, which isn't very fast even on my best day, but I really want to work on getting that motion down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Let's come down to the ground. We're going to do our blast off. Starting on all fours is the easiest way I found to get into this so that I can sit back into my hips and then push out to full length. 3, 2, 1, and go. Sit back, press forward. So you can do this quick. Squeezing the butt. Oh my gosh. Squeezing your butt. Again, sliding your hips along an imaginary table. You're underneath the table. Can't lift the hips any higher. You want to stay in contact through the whole motion. We should feel this in the muscles around our armpits, the back of the arm. Also in the thighs and the glutes. Keep pressing. Breathe. If you need to, sit back into the knees. You're still going to get that engagement. Keep the armpits squeezed, whichever you choose. All right, relax, 15 seconds. We're gonna come up, we got our sumo jacks. So, let's wrap our left arm, moving the right, and we go. How about I move this so I don't get run over? Oh, I'm sorry. Squat and stand, squat and stand. Now, if we need to, we're gonna step out to the right or alternate. But what I want us to do is, just like with a regular squat, my legs are strong. I'm not going super deep on this. I am gonna keep my knees and toes facing the same direction. Four, three, 2, and 1. Relax. Let's go to the ground. We have our cross reach. So we're making an X with the body. We're going to reach the right arm to the left toe. And then reverse directions. 3, 2, 1, and go. Reach and reach. So the big difference here is that we're working with long levers. Changes the exercise, adds another layer to it. Now, if you don't like this is painful for any particular reason, you can also always keep the long legs and rotate the body into it. You also have the option of touching your knee and then working our way up to full extension. I like to think about rolling onto my shoulder blade, bringing my opposite shoulder up towards the ceiling and really reaching towards the toe with the fingers. And if you're not super flexible, we're going to reach forward, feet and hands do not have to touch. Bring it up. Let's go back to our curtsy lunge. This time it's going to be the right leg moving. Chest is up. 6 seconds. And go. So again, I'm keeping this pretty short. I'm keeping it pretty slow for myself because I'm working on keeping my right hip facing the front of the room, keeping good form. If you're feeling pretty good here, you can add depth. You can also add speed, but we want to make sure that our form holds up through the entire thing. Sit back into the heels. Another thing to think about, especially if you video yourself at all, having your knee and toe on both feet face the same direction at all times is important. So we want to make sure that we're keeping everything in really their ideal positions for the way that we're structured. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Let's go to the ground for our blast off push-ups. Again, starting on all fours. Flat back, curl the toes under. 3, 2, 1. Extend, reach forward, sit back. So while I'm doing this, I'm trying to make sure that I keep my shoulders away from my ears. And if we need to, we can keep the hips higher. We're really working on that. Again, we also have this one. Slower is not bad. Form really supersedes everything, including your cardio. Coming forward and back. Ten more seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, sumo jacks. This time, left arm's moving, right? Left arm's moving. Wrapping the right arm, stepping out or jumping out to your sumo squat. And go. Out and in. So if you are single arm, and the low impact, if you were alternating before, alternate again. So I'm really trying to, when I land, my right leg's coming out a little more than I want my knees still pressed wide. So I'm having to really engage the middle of my glutes. So I have to really push and squeeze with my knees in order to maintain good form. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the ground. We're having our cross reach, keeping the chest up. If we need to take a moment to let our heart rate catch up, you have 5 more seconds. Let's lay it back and lift. Again, crossing over just above the chest, aiming to bring the shoulder blade up off the ground. Again, if we're not very flexible, we come as close as we can. We are also welcome to do any kind of support of the neck that you need. The only thing we want to check on is that we aren't using our hands to do the work for us. So if I'm here, regardless of what I'm doing with my legs, I'm really not doing anything but using my arms to lift my head. So if we decide to support, we just want to give it that little bit of energy. And stop. Relax. Come on up. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more. And you get a 2-minute break. All right, last round. Option 1 is going to be just a regular old narrow stance squat. We're going to be sitting down and back. You can even do a prisoner squat if you wanted, from knees to standing. If you are doing this with dumbbells, you've got a clean and press. So we're going to have our thumb to the armpit or to the top of the shoulder, but notice that I'm sitting my butt back. As I stand and push, my hand goes overhead, my glutes squeeze, sit and catch, stand and let it go. If that's a lot of movement, that's no problem. You're just going to keep it up high and do a sit to stand, okay? Second movement is going to be a dive bomber. We did that during the warm-up. We're also going to have an all-direction squat. I'm going to move this out of the way so that I don't knock it over. This is going to be completely optional. You can do any of the other jumping jack variations we've done or one that you like. But if you'd like to do this with us, we're going to do an around the world squat. So it's going to be 1, turn to the right, 2, turn to the right, 3, 4, back to the center, okay? We're going to start the first round going to the right. Second round is going to go to the left. Last thing is going to be a pullover reach. Options here are that we're going to stay nice and flat, bring the weight above the chest or the ribs. We can also extend 2 legs or just 1 at a time. Totally up to you. So let's go ahead and start with our dumbbell. A weight load that you can do multiple times without causing any pain. And let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, and go. Start with the right hand. Sit, stand, and stand. So one thing that I see a lot on a clean and press is position of the knees. So in body pump, when we go back, one of the things I find is people's squats are looking really good. We want to remember that the same principles on a squat apply to a clean and press. I still want to have my shins mostly vertical. I still want to have my chest up, and this weight stays close to the body. I will sometimes have clients do this facing a wall, and then the knees can't touch the wall, neither can the face or the elbow. And stop. All right, let's come down to the ground. We're going to do our dive bombers. Remember, you have the striking cobra variation available, which I'll start with. Knees apart and toes together. We're going to start sitting back. Spread the fingers wide, straighten the arms, and go. So elbows go to the ground. We roll to the palms, lift up the chest. Sit back in child's pose, elbows on the ground, slide the nose along the floor, lift the chest. So notice that I'm keeping my hips on the ground on this one. Optionally, if you want to get to closer to a dive bomber, we're going to lift the thighs off the ground. So I have to really squeeze my butt. For the full motion, I'm sitting back, squeeze the elbows towards the back of the room, and lift. So if anyone's been following my mobility workout, I have gotten so much better at these since I started doing that. And stop. All right, come on up. You're going to do a step out and turn, or you are going to do around the world, squat jack, or any jumping jack that you feel like you want to do today. Ready? And go. Out. As you jump, you turn. That moment when my feet are off the ground. Pause for a second if you feel like you're dizzy. Turn, 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 turn. Now, if it's really weird and you're like, oh my gosh, then you can always go the other way and alternate. Just remember which one you do. Step, turn, step, turn, step, and step. So what I'm doing on this one, if I do the step, I'm pivoting on the ball of foot. And stop. All right, come on back to the ground. Grab your weight. You've got, if you don't have a weight, you're here. If you do have a weight, you're at a pullover. Two legs, or just one, reaching up. You can leave your head down on the ground on this one, because I want this to be more lats than core. So let's tuck our chin into a little bit of a double chin position, and we're letting the weight come just off the forehead. I'm pulling the belly into the spine and keeping my ribs flat, no movement in the chest. I like to keep my feet flexed, keeps everything a little more engaged. Three, two, one, and relax. Hug a knee, roll up, and we're gonna start all over again. Let's grab your dumbbell. It's gonna go in the left hand. Clean and press, or just a narrow squat or prisoner squat. Ready, and go. Sit, and stand. Another way that you could do this, if you wanna check your form, is stand with your knees up against something. So, for example, I just scared all the animals. I'm gonna put my knees here. I don't want my knees to touch this mat or this chair. Okay? So I sit back, that's it, yeah, that's right. It's weird, but it's correct. That's it. When we did this, the body pump training, I had to be able to do this with the teacher standing right here and not hit her with a bar. Yep. But that's how tight it is. Butt controls the motion, not so much the knees. Come to the ground. We have our dive bomber or our striking cobra. Sitting back or lifting the hips. And we go. Down and lift. Sit the hips back. And you know, if this dive bomber is hard on when you're on your toes, it's really not a big deal to come down to the ground. Again, if you followed a lot of my stuff that I'm doing with mobility, I have no problem starting, even if I can do push-ups, and I do them all right, I'm limiting myself to doing just a few perfectly. I've identified some issues by doing that, so that's totally fine. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, so now you got your all direction jack. You're either going left or you're gonna alternate, depending on your level of dizziness. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, we do the turn as our feet come together. So when my feet come off the ground, I come in, out, feet come off the ground, out, off the ground, out. All right? If I'm doing the step, pivoting on the ball of the foot, and then changing out the legs. So I go left, out, out. There we go. Good. Oh, and stop. All right, last one. Yay. All right. extending the legs, hands come up, pull over, or a V-sit type motion. Single leg or double. I just like to do a single leg better here for myself because again, for me personally, there are other ways I work my core. So I really want to target my lats here. Partly because that's an area of my body that, can always be strengthened. Partly because I'm trying to work on my pull-ups and my chin-ups, and having stronger lats won't do anything but make that better. Keep the armpits squeezed. Let's try not to let our chest move. We also want to keep our back flat. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Very nice. Come on in. Bring the knees into the chest, not you. Circle the knees around and go back the other way. Well, okay. Knees come up. Circle the shin around. I guess you don't need to see my head, right? Switch. Toes together. Circle the feet around the ankles. Point and stretch a little bit. Good. Come on up. Seated position. This isn't what I had planned, but since the dog wants to sit on my head, this is what we get. All right, so you can turn to the side or to the front. Left leg is going to come forward so that the shin is parallel with the front of the mat. Hinge forward. Sit the right hip forward. That way we can really stretch out the front hip, side of the leg. All right, switch sides. All right, chest forward. Same thing, shin is parallel. Brace the hands, press the hip towards the ground. I like to keep my feet flexed. Kind of as a general rule, I guess. Good, come on up to a kneeling position. Excuse me, sir. Left leg is up, right arm lifts. Lean forward, reach back. Bring it up center, push the hips towards the right, reach to the left. Good, reach over. Turn the whole body towards the left side, pressing through the left knee. Right sides. Moving in, reaching back. Up to the center, brace the hip. Hip goes left, hand goes right. Cross it over, stretch. All right, come on to standing. Really quick. I don't know what words I'm trying to say. Shoulder in the ear, come together. Ear to shoulder, that's what I was looking for. Chin to chest. And then chin to the ceiling. Roll the shoulders out. Shake out the upper body, shake out the legs. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, deep breath. And exhale through the mouth. And we are done. Yay! Thank you guys for being with me. As always, I'll see you next time.